Decoupled was received in series largely in English. What does it tell you about the level to which audience can go to accept anything?
You're right. Decoupled was not something even I was expecting to become such a big hit. The web series has been consumed most by boys between the age group of 14 to 38. We have a rickshaw. These guys had a bullet train, but we both reached on time and as accurately. That ability was possible because the Indian scientists used the Indian almanac, the Panchang, which is the most accurate celestial map. Even NASA is thinking about ये कैसे आ गया इनके पास. My fan following on Instagram, 77% men, 33% women. My wife is very happy with that statistic. Hi, this is R. Madhavan and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
You've had experience of both OTT as well as films. Obviously, film is something that you've been doing for the longest period of time. The way Decoupled was received in series largely in English, what does it tell you about the level to which audience can go to accept anything?
Well, I don't think it was anything, but it was.
What I mean by anything is in the sense, there is this conception that ये नहीं चलेगा, वो नहीं चलेगा types.
Brother,
so I think English is as much Indian language, I think,
no,
because it's a linked language as well.
It's a very, very valid question, okay? And I want to say this in all humility. I think we in the industry sometimes put ourselves in a pedestal, saying ये audience को समझ में नहीं आएगा, and we try to simplify it, or we start thinking that this is not what will be acceptable by the audience. But I think that if anything, we have to up our ante to become intelligent enough as the audience. Now, you're right. Decoupled was not something even I was expecting to become such a big hit. But can I ask you something? Do you know which age group and sex loved the film the most? Loved the web series? Take a guess, brother. It's not an exam. I'm saying, what would you think would be the age group of people who liked Decoupled the most?
18 to 24?
Men or women?
Women.
Right. Even I would have thought that. The web series has been consumed most by boys between the age group of 14 to 38. At 78% of the consumption as opposed to the rest. And men have loved it. And men in high political positions and around the world have called me and said, how did you know my life story? Right. So I thought it's going to be liked by mature people who have been through marriages and who've had these tussles at home. But no, it's the youngsters. My fan following on Instagram, 77% men, 33% women. My wife is very happy with that statistic. And out of that 77%, the age group of people who follow me the most is between 14 to 38 boys. So our perception, let me ask you something else so that you will understand why the data that is being fed to us is so convoluted. You and I are very educated and I have followed your interviews. You're so good with it. But can you tell me, what percentage of the Indian population is on Twitter?
It's a very small percentage.
How small? How big?
I think less than 5%.
5%?
Yeah.
That would be a fair assumption. That less than 5%, because even 30% of our population has smartphones.
Right.
So you're saying 5% out of that would be on Twitter?
Yeah.
And we base a lot of our decisions on Twitter?
Yeah.
On what Twitter says?
Right.
Less than 0.2% is on Twitter.
Yeah. That is, yeah, it's too overhyped. I think it's way too overhyped.
Yeah, for us to assess ourselves and that to mostly influencers, not even normal public don't generate over there. It's only the people we follow that we consider are ruling our world, and that's their belief and faith in us that we look for endorsements from them. People commit suicide by what is written on Twitter. How convoluted can the data be? 23.6 million people follow Twitter in India, and 1.4 billion people.
Right.
Indian hacker does physics experiments on his YouTube channel for the cow belt, for people in the entire belt, and he has followers. Single-handedly, I'm not saying followers, I'm saying subscribers. If you go to his subscriber, he's got 26.8 million subscribers who watch his experiment every day and who are a fan of his, which is more than Twitter by itself. So for us to assume that this is what is going to, and make our decisions based on this data is so wrong. And I think that is where the industry is going wrong many times. I think and another thing is, when Raj Kapoor came and he made stories which were so effective, it is because he went through that aspect of his life. He's seen the partition. I mean, Mughal-e-Azam was probably one of the things that he's heard about and read. And, so he made those films which were very effective to that generation. And then people His associate directors, assistant
Raj
directors.
Kapoor did not make my Mughal.
Sorry, not Raj Kapoor, when he started the film. Mughal Azam was made by, I'm sorry,
Asif.
yeah, Asif Ali Saab. But I'm saying in the era that was made by the directors, it was the most, their life was conditioned by those stories and that time. So the people who started directing, there was no direction school at that time. So they were their assistants and they followed that. So right now, if you look at the grand scale of filmmaking, we have a Sanjay Leela Bhansali. If you look at, for example, Subhash Ghai, Rohit Shetty is doing all that. But the Americans suddenly diverted in one way. Suddenly there was a Steven Spielberg who became an engineer and he started thinking about futuristic science fiction films. And they made movies like that became iconic. Our industry didn't do that. And though we made films on freedom struggle and on the Mughal invasion and a lot of glorifying hero stories, we never went into one aspect of India's achievement, which is scientific. World over, the Indian engineers, scientists, doctors, IT professionals are admired and adored. The top Fortune 500 companies, out of the top 20, 14 CEOs are from India. When America makes a film called Apollo 13 or Steve Jobs or Interstellar or Inception, we never wonder whether the Indian public will be able to consume it because kitne commercial gaane hain. But those films are making 70, 80 crores in our country when it released. Gravity released 10 years ago.
Right.
We never attribute that data to our making of the film. So why are we not making the film? Why are we always assuming that the heroes will only be from America who can save the world? We have such thousands of them, Nambi Narayanan being one of them over here. And we have to make sure that that intellectual capital is retained in our country. That people should believe that you can be that intelligent and good engineer and still find glory in this country instead of having to be a Sundar Pichai or a Satya Nadella in America. And if possible, we have to get other scientists from other countries to come to India and work. And because I'm telling you, my friend, at one point of time, the ones that ruled the land were the kings. Then the ones that ruled the sea were the most powerful nations. Then the ones that controlled the skies were the trendsetters and the rule makers. But now it's the final frontier space. You and I will have to go to space much faster than you can imagine. We'll have to populate Mars. We'll have to start harvesting the minerals from Moon. And as I speak, I'm telling you, those programs are in play. And we need to make India a forerunner in that because we have the most outstanding ancient history and tradition which are contributing to the modern technology, and a combination of that is lethal. Last thing I want to say before I go on to this rant is the Mangal mission, which was the Mangalyaan, was the first time we became successful at a cost which is less than that of a Hollywood film. And we only had a liquid fuel and a solid fuel engine. The rest of the world had liquid, solid and cryogenic. So how do you think we managed that much of a trouble? It's like saying, यार मैं ना रिक्शा में है, आप ट्रेन में जाओ, हम दोनों एक टाइम में पहुंच जाएंगे बॉम्बे from Calcutta. That's exactly what happened. We have a rickshaw. These guys had a super bullet train, but we both reached on time and as accurately. And that ability was possible because the Indian scientists used the Indian almanac, the Panchang, which is the most accurate celestial map. Even NASA is thinking about ये कैसे आ गया इनके पास. So I'm saying, as an industry also, we need to make stories that will make our youngsters stand up and salute and get admiration for the industry. Yaar. I don't want people to come into the industry thinking, चलो देखते हैं कि यार ये मैडी ने किया क्या है. I want him to come and think, यार ये आदमी जो है scientist है यार, ये कैमरून की तरह है. No, we never question when James Cameron makes a film, or when you see the latest ones, which is Dunkirk and all that. You think it's all accurate and you go, oh, ऐसा हुआ था क्या? I think that's the kind of respect I would want from my audiences as well.
Okay, मेरा आखिरी सवाल आपसे था कि that you're talking wonderfully. You've also been this motivational speaker. You've impacted a lot of lives, young lives especially as well. How important is that aspect for you?
I'm just sharing my experiences. I have not studied to be a motivational speaker or wanted to consciously head in that direction. It's when I start talking, I think I have a way with words maybe, and I have the ability to capture what is around me and putting it in a manner that is understood by people. But if that's benefited people, I've understood that it's been impacting them, and I want to continue to do that as much as possible.
I must tell you that so my daughter has been writing, and she's got a book published in her name, and I tweeted to you, and you wrote some wonderful things about it. So you don't even realize how much it impacted her.
Thank you.
And she's been writing brilliantly. And
I'm so happy. She's such a good writer, and considering her age, I mean, I'm glad you're supporting her because this sort of wisdom is very, very rare at her age, and you must congratulate her on my behalf.
No, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Hi, this is R. Madhavan, and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.